the globe today, education is not only confined to books, it's also about exploring the world with practical knowledge. Spread over 26 acres, K.R.mangalam University is nested in the Aravalli Hills. The fully residential green campus offers an idyllic and intellectually vibrant environment for every learner. Global exposure is incomplete without international collaborations. K.R.mangalam University has proudly collaborated with many premier international universities like Middlesex University London, ESCE International Business School and the University of Florida. Professional education and industry exposure goes hand in hand. And as an educational institution, K.R.mangalam University has joined hands with ace companies in every sector for a better prospect. We have collaborated with giants like Apple, Dabur, FTCI, Medanta, Google and Sun Pharma to name a few. Along with this, we have 400 plus recruiters from various sectors connected to our campus with a 90+% placement record over the years. We have multiple feathers in our cap, like the Best University for Innovation Award in the 3rd Asia Pacific Education and Technology Award 2020. And the Best University Award in Asia with strong industry connections by Education Post.
I extend a warm welcome to the young professionals at the School of Medical and Allied Sciences. Here we have diverse range of courses in the field of pharmacy and physiotherapy for you. The Department of Pharmacy was started in the year 2013 after due approval from the Pharmacy Council of India. For the undergraduate learners, we offer Diploma in Pharmacy 2-year program, Bachelor of Pharmacy 4-year program and Bachelor of Physiotherapy 4.5 years program. The eligibility qualification for Diploma in Pharmacy and B.Pharmacy is 12th with Physics, Chemistry, Biology or Physics, Chemistry, Maths. It means that the person who has passed 12th with non-biology can also pursue pharmacy. Whereas at the postgraduate level, you can choose from M.Pharmacy in Pharmaceutics or M.Pharmacy in Pharmacology. This year, we are also launching new programs at the bachelor levels. These are all paramedical courses, bachelors in Medical Lab Technology, BSc in Radiology and Imaging, BSc in Dialysis Technology, BSc in Optometry, BSc in Operation Theatre Technology and BSc in Nutrition and Dietetics. We also offer doctoral level program, that is PhD in Pharmaceutical Sciences. The Center for Education, Growth and Research has awarded the School of Medical and Allied Sciences at K.R.mangalam University as the best pharmacy college in India in 2016. We have strong tie-ups with pharmaceutical industries like Sun Pharma, Dabur Research Foundation, Medicam and Biotech, Medanta Medicity, Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, Pranab Mukherjee Foundation for the training and placement of the students. We have also created excellent facilities for the research in various areas of pharmacy and physiotherapy. At K.R.mangalam University, we aim to provide you excellent placement opportunities to the final year students.
Greetings to everyone. I am Palak Jain, student of B.Pharmacy at the School of Medical and Allied Sciences, K.R.mangalam University. Here as a student, I get the opportunity to learn how the medical field works. I chose K.R.mangalam University as it is approved by the Pharmacy Council of India. We also get to take part in extracurricular activities such as sports competition, canteen hair serves, delicious and healthy food. There are several amenities such as free Wi-Fi, medical assistance and many more, making the K.R.mangalam University best option for everyone.
I invite you to join in the quest for knowledge and excellence with the promise of enriching, enjoyable and empowering experience at K.R.mangalam University.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the open house being hosted today by the School of Medical and Allied Sciences. The topic for this open house is the future of pharmacy, opportunities and challenges. India is known as the pharmacy of the world. During the pandemic, Indian pharma industry rose to the challenge and established its dominance not just in production and marketing of drugs, but also in innovation, research, as well as drug repurposing. Our scientists were at the forefront of fighting the pandemic together. Today, the world is advancing in terms of disruptive technologies, whether it is innovative methods, whether it is the Internet of Things, the pharmaceutical industry cannot be left far behind. The profession of pharmacy and the study of pharmaceutical sciences also needs to cope with these changes. Today, we will be discussing the future of pharmacy. What is the role of technology? How far it goes in serving as a career. The profession of pharmaceutical sciences encompasses it is known as one of the evergreen professions. But what does the future hold for prospective students, current students, graduates, and those already in the industry? It is my privilege to introduce our panel for today, our external speaker, Dr. Arti Thakkar. Arti ma'am, welcome. Welcome to K.R.mangalam University, even though it is online. Uh, I would like to give a brief introduction of Dr. Arti. She has more than 17 years of national and international experience in pharmaceutical sciences in the industry as well as academia, making her ideally suited to not just understand the demands of the industry, but also how academia can cope up. She has worked as faculty in a number of academic organizations. Currently, she is the associate professor at Amity University in Noida. In the past, she has been responsible for developing and establishing a government approved commercialized drug testing laboratory named ISF Analytical Laboratory at Moga. Dr. Arti has 55 publications in peer-reviewed journals, multiple presentations in international and national conferences, 5 Indian patents, an international book chapter, 6 books that the students of B.Pharmacy and D.Pharmacy read, and a number of research projects which have been funded by government agencies as well. Welcome, Dr. Arti, and thank you so much for joining us today. We are very confident that the students and the professionals who will be joining us today for this webinar will learn a lot about the future of pharmacy and what it holds for us. I would also like to introduce our other panelists from the School of Medical and Allied Sciences, K.R.mangalam University. We have with us Dean Sir, the Dean of School of Medical and Allied Sciences, Professor Arun Garg. Professor Garg is an established name in quality pharmacy education as an academician for the past 35 years. His research areas of interest, drug utilization studies, quality of life studies, rational use of drugs, hepatotoxicity, liver regeneration, diabetes, hypertension, and cosmetics have awarded him a number of prestigious accolades like the Dr. R. Mukherjee Award for Best Paper, the Hamdard National Foundation Research Award, and a Gold Medal Award as well from the University of Delhi. Sir has also received a number of accolades for his teaching experience as Young Teacher Award, Professional Excellence Award by the IPGA, and the IPGA Fellowship Award as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we really hope that you can enlighten us about the different types of innovations that we can expect our students to learn and to implement in the future. We are also joined by Mr. Mohit Agarwal. Mohit sir is an assistant professor at the Department of Pharmacy, School of Medical and Allied Sciences at K.R.mangalam University. And sir is also very interested in research and therefore brings a fresh focus towards pharmacy education for the students here. Because not only are we developing professionals of tomorrow, but we also want them to be interested in research, innovation, and like the topic today says, what do the future of pharmacy holds. Mohit sir recently got a travel fellowship worth 5 lakh rupees from USA, California to attend an international conference by Alzheimer Association International Conference. He has also been selected as first editor for international book Herbal Medication for Neurological Disorders. This will be published by Walnut Publications in USA. His major area of research interest is pharmacological investigation in the areas of Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, Parkinson's disease, etc. He has a vigorous background in pharmaceutical research and related fields and has touched base with other pharmaceutical sciences and technology professionals to update on latest principles. He has published many research and review articles in international journals of repute and attended several conferences to keep himself updated. I thank all of you for joining us on the panel today. Welcome to the open house by the School of Medical and Allied Sciences. Arti ma'am, I would like to start with you. What we really want to know today is that as we were discussing, the future of all professions is going through a rapid change. In the past 10 years, we have seen an increase in technology which has been more than what the past 50 years had seen. So, how are we seeing such changes or such technological advances in your field, in pharmacy?
Thank you, Mamta. Am I audible enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So a very good morning to everyone. I'll come back to question immediately, but before that, I just want to first of all thank Professor Dr. Aggarwal sir for inviting me and giving this opportunity.
Ma'am, voice is dipping. Voice is dipping.
Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, first of all, I just want to thank Dr. Aggarwal sir for having me here and giving this opportunity to interact with students. And of course, all the panelists and organizers to have me here. And thank you, Mamta ma'am, for giving elaborated introduction. So now coming back to your question, it's a really a huge kind of things have been happened, or the kind of journey, if we see in terms of technology, has evolved in the last few years. Earlier, we had the days where we were just having normal phones, and if we can't think in long back in 2001, 2, 3, maybe, during early 2000, that, we would be able to have any even, video calls. We can't think of that, having that kind of a phone calls also. So, but now in today's time, every household, and, specifically in the Indian context, if we talk about, everything is going into digital mode, and, the payment is digital, and everything is happening that way. Having said that, pharmaceutical field is not lagging behind in that. And, I'll share a few slides if you permit. So I'll just share my screen so just confirm that whether it is visible or not. Is this slide visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So if we just, go ahead in terms of, what Indian, so before I just have one or two slides to little bit discuss on that, how Indian pharma has evolved over the year, or in current time, where exactly the pharmaceutical industry stands. So this is, I've taken the data from the annual report of Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers of India. So, you can see the minister of the, ministry is, he tweeted this few days back that, Indian pharma is really like, in terms of export is concerned, in 2013-14, of course, we are talking more in terms of promoting their government, work, what they are doing. But in terms of that, if we see like, the amount, what it's like 103% increase in the export, what they are talking. And if we just see further, in terms of other numbers. So we have majorly India is player in the generic medicine. We provide medication to more than 200 countries. Of course, in terms of, we always speak that government started this made in India concept, in after having this government like they took over. But pharmacy is a field where specifically big pharmaceutical player of India, Indian pharmaceutical companies, they were into this generic in terms of very strong way. And every third tablet in the world is made by Indian generic firms and all. And you can see over here, we are 55% export to highly regulated markets. So when we say that highly regulated market, it means we talk about United States or MHRA, so UK or Australia or Japan or European countries, which are considered to be the very stringent regulatory agencies, and they follow that. So our export is that. So you can imagine, students specifically, you can think about that. If we have this kind of export, means our companies are capable enough that this much amount of export is very well accepted by the stringent regulatory agency, means we are able to, our pharma company is able to do that. They are able to maintain that high level of standards. Having said that, we have 90% of WHO pre-qualified, API sourced from India. Of course, you can see over here that, almost 65 to 70% WHO vaccine requirement is sourced from India. And US FDA is considered to be the most, stringent agency, and, they have approved site almost like 741, which is like last August 21 data. And that is, approved sites outside USA is in India. So this is really big kind of a numbers I'm talking right now. And, in terms of COVID, we have seen that, many leaders from Germany or Australia, they came forward and they really spoke out very clearly and distinguishedly that, India is the world pharmacy. I mean, this is a big thing. So, if you are in pharmacy or if you are planning for pharmacy, this is the kind of a future you are looking into. So this is like general what we have now. This is a little bit, in terms of the numbers, why India is preferred destination for many companies, like, cost efficiency, economic drivers, policy support, and all those things. And if I say in terms of a very clearly, that what kind of a traditional roles, and now, if I say the technologies are concerned, this all technology, newer technology have advances in this various sections. So, that's why I brought this slide over here, because, if you're looking for career prospect point of view in pharmaceuticals, these are the various areas, because my following slides are little bit, putting upon kind of interest in, or advances in these kind of fields. So specifically, you can go ahead. It's such a wider field, there are so many options even after getting B.Pharmacy degree, and every, it's not like both are similar. Like, if you become a doctor, you are a doctor. But in terms of if you are becoming a pharmacist, you can be a pharmaceutical manufacturing person, I mean, production chemist. You can be a regulatory affairs person. You can be working in quality control, quality assurance setup, and the packages and things. And, the way of working is very different in each and every segment of even within pharmaceutical. So you have research and development, you can go for academia, you have clinical trials. And if I say a lot of advances which are happening, in terms of various these fields are concerned, I'll just give you one or two examples related to specifically where the, lot of change has happened because of the introduction of artificial intelligence or IoT devices or likewise. So now let's come to your question, what you were asking, that, what kind of, challenges or opportunities are there when we talk about various, newer technologies are concerned. See, pharma is a field where you can't have, it's not like, you will be having the direct impact of a technology in a very, very stronger way, because the traditional way of working has not gone out yet. But if we say in terms of we are talking maybe after, nobody thought about, I gave that phone example, nobody thought 15 years back that we would be doing video call. And even I would say Before 3 years, it was not so easy to have Zoom call. I mean, within Indian education is concerned, because I have experience in working in USA also, and I used to have collaborators sitting in Belgium. We used to have a meeting in 2013. They used to do a doodle call or Google Doodle call, and we used to have that kind of a meetings, and Zoom meeting. Even in that time, a very like hardly people were using Zoom at that time, and now look upon it. Every school or every college, so this is a power of technology that it can connect people like anything. So that's why it is very important, and it's a very good initiative by K.R.mangalam University and the organizers, that they are thinking and talking about this futuristic approach that where pharmacy leads. So specifically in terms of course, when we talk about various opportunities, so I'll more majorly focus on digital health or artificial intelligence point of view, and I have a couple of examples also. And there are various other fields where a lot of research or technology wise or research centric technologies are advances, but how the digital health or artificial intelligence is playing a role. So if you just look upon that, so this is a very simple one of the example which I have fetched from one of the report. And if you just read upon, it just says that you are, they have given the name as person Sam, that he's using smart toothbrush. And this, now just think of the technology, how it is taking and how the problems are solving, or it can. This is hypothetical situation right now, but it is not impossible. Maybe next 10 years we would be going into that. Right now our, if you see the advertisement, it just talk about Sensodyne, use that, or it talks about that use this kind of a brushes or so where it has grooves and all those things. But if you think from the point of view, this example, it says that the person was having a smart toothbrush. So that smart toothbrush, smart as a smart, like, it is attached with the database. So if that toothbrush has the kind of, that if you have a specific kind of a bacteria, and we all are aware that, when you have some, tooth infection, you might be having just pain. And many times it happens that, recently I was hearing out from my friend that, suddenly she got a very severe pain in her wisdom tooth. And when she went to a doctor and there was a lot of pus, she didn't realize it at all. And I can relate it that if she was using a smart toothbrush, if that technology is available, it would be even initial stage where the bacteria has formed. You would come to know about it, and that would help so what this example says, that this smart toothbrush, like, it sends the digital bacteria sample. So you just think of the digital bacteria sample that, kind of characteristic bacteria has. So it has identified that, and it has diagnosed within few seconds of appearance of that bacteria. And that would, like, it would even result that early diagnosis, it would get back that voice enabled AI avatar that would tell, the person, that you have this bacteria in your mouth. And, it would be automatically in his kitchen, because everything is smartly connected. The cattle, and in the fridge also, they would tell, to have him yogurt with, probiotic culture. You know that when you are using probiotics, it's a kind of, you are playing against that bacteria. You are helping out to recover a person in a better way. So, to have those kind of approach, so that would, that avatar would tell the person, and, the smart kettle and smart fridge would give him this kind of a stuff, and automatically triggered to, and this message will go to his even local, like his own family doctor, or whomsoever he's visiting. So he would be having this data, and based on that, they would give out a medication which would be even, delivered at his doorstep by means of a drone or, time. And, that way the person is having really, and whatever the amount has happened, whatever the amount has been costed, would be deducted automatically from his account. And that, after even following up that how much improvement is happening, where he requires to stop the medication, and automatically it would be. I mean, it looks funny right now, because I was going through this kind of examples, and it really feels you that is it really possible? But yes, with kind of AI, with kind of algorithm, and I mean, if you just think about all these things, we do have now today's time. Your AC is able to connect with your phone. Your, temperature monitoring you can do with your phone. You are sitting somewhere else and you can monitor your fridge, refrigerator temperature by means of your phone. Wherever you are sitting, you can do that. So it's not like impossible, whatever is given. So this is one of the kind of, you can say that, smart thing or acute diagnosis can lead to or help you out. I'll very quickly tell, in terms of how the pharmacist role can be evolved, a second example, and I think that would answer a little bit better way Mamta ma'am's question. So if I just say very quickly, so digitally the patient can have, help patient to provide and select or implement or digital therapeutics related information. And also medically, whatever the treatment or complexities are there that can be helped out by means of, looking into evidence-based technology, because in US FDA, or I mean United States, people are really like pharmacist role is very stronger in terms of prescription of the various salt. Over here, the doctors write down the prescription for you, but over there, it's a pharmacist, role to write down that for you. And in terms of when I say, so the pharmacist has to even upgrade themselves accordingly. They should be also like, helping patient digitally without, I mean, if you just think of before COVID, nobody was thinking of having virtual clinical trial. I'm sure you might be knowing what is clinical trial. So, when you are doing the human trial, so I had one study on that. And, in 2014-15, Pfizer, Eli Lilly started long back in 2001, but it was just for, some of the records. But in COVID, it was started like that the patient, two patients who is at home, the nurses would go there, they will pick the sample. The patient doesn't need to be in the hospital because hospitals were not available. Those were filled with the COVID patients or so. And it was like that, the samples would be. So that is called as virtual clinical trial. And the people whosoever are involved at every stage of clinical trials are sitting at their home and doing their job. Only the people who are working on instrument would be available in the labs also. So this, all things have evolved like anything. So similarly, in terms of pharmaceutical, the medical aspect, they have to look upon with the help of, computer system or so. So medical centers can help out the pharmacist to know what kind of, disease or things are. And behavioral wise, how the patient, sitting home and pharmacist can see or can interact with his mindset and tell him about it. And if he's having that kind of a smart, like, the chatbots are there, which can help him to know better than what he's up to, what kind of things are there. And not, I mean, I was hearing out one of the example of Frankfurt University, what the research they are doing currently. I mean, 2 years back or 3 years back, I heard them actually. I hope all of you know that, in India, pulses, it used to be, in ancient time, they used to just measure a pulse, and the Vaidya would tell that, what person has the sick, like, illness, what kind of things are there. So, Nadi Vidya, whatever they call it, so it is ancient kind of a science, but unfortunately, we could not have a lot of records of it, or it was just, if someone is Vaidya, so then their son or daughter would be, having that kind of a skill. Otherwise, nobody knows the actual science behind it because we don't have the documented record of it. And coming back to that, some of the scientists who are actually Indian and working in Frankfurt University and who are from the AI aspect and all. So I saw their program also, that how they are doing it and what kind of, they are managing it with the usage of the smartwatch, and the voice of the person also can be checked upon, that modulation in the voice. So, there are a lot of things are coming up. So it's kind of a time where, pharmaceutical industry is, as a community pharmacist role is evolving like anything. So these are the few, examples. Uh, yeah, so I would say majorly, these are the things one has to look upon. And there are some more examples that specifically, how automation and AI algorithm would enhance pharmacist responsibility, also 3D printing, autonomous boats or drones, or, IoT devices have been increased. So I just gave a couple of examples. I haven't taken all. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. It's exciting to see that the world is changing around us and we're in the middle of it. However, it does become a little scary as well because we are also in a position where we don't know what the future holds. So I would like to bring in Professor Garg here. Sir, I would like you to add to how you have seen through the years how the technology in the pharmaceutical industry has changed from, maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and what we are expecting the students to know tomorrow for their industrial training, or, have you seen that difference, sir?
Yeah, I would like to bring the technology which I have seen in Acum's lab when I visited them, and it's around 8 to 9 years back. So they have a machine which is making the eye drop plastic bottle, and in the same machine at a different section, the filling has been done, the nitrogen gas has been filled, the sealing is there, and then the capping is there, and then the labeling is there. So in one machine, worth crores of rupees, but it's a fantastic machine. So technology is changing in pharmaceutical industry, and the tableting machines is automatic these days. Even you can get the weight of each and every individual tablet if you want, because these are all computerized. Very fast machines are there. Then we are getting different types of granules. You don't have to make the granules. There are granules available direct for compression. So the things are changing. I'm not into the production. I think the things might have changed a lot in the production. That's why we give emphasis on the industrial training, industrial visit, so that our students learn all those things. But as far as the future of the pharmacy and industry is changing, so there is a lot of scope in quality control and quality assurance, because in drugs, pharmaceuticals, safety is one of the important parameter, and we cannot compromise with the safety. The other upcoming fields which Arti has already told, and is given a beautiful example of artificial intelligence. We are seeing online pharmacy is coming up, and we see a lot of big giants are coming into the online sale of pharmaceuticals. Then telemedicine is one of them, where we can get the prescription, we can have any diagnosis made. And the other thing which is coming up is in a big way is a pharmacovigilance. That is adverse drug reaction monitoring of the drug once we approve the drugs for the in the market. And of course, preclinical studies on animals and clinical studies, like Arti was telling, virtual clinical trials. So clinical studies, clinical research is a big boom here in India, and we have a lot of companies which are doing the clinical research in India. And the clinical research in India is a little bit subsidized, and we can get it here at an economical level. And that's why there is a lot of scope of even physiotherapist and pharmacist in clinical research. And
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much,
lastly,
sir. Yes, sir.
Lastly, pharmaceutical sales and marketing. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Arti ma'am, just taking a leaf from what sir said, we are talking about a lot of innovation and these new designs and IoT. But like sir was pointing out, cost plays a big hindrance role. We want to encourage entrepreneurship among students. In the past, they had those options of entrepreneurship, or like sir said, of startups, online pharmacies and all. Do you think that with emerging technologies, cost or the initial investment required would be a challenge, and what other challenges do we have in terms of these emerging technologies?
Okay, so if you can permit, I'll just answer that question with two of my slides.
Sure.
So basically, in terms of what research, we did in our lab in before COVID, immediate before COVID. And so as you said, the cost over here, we developed two devices with the help of AI and machine learning. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So in this, I mean, you can see the basically flow chart that how the machine would work, or the device would work. We actually developed, we came up with a concept that specifically blind people and visually impaired people, they are very much dependent on a medical help. I mean, they require
Another person, huh? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they can't take the medicine themselves. And similarly, when I would say sometimes it can be difficult for them to have that. So just we had this thought in a mind, and we thought, why don't we develop some sort of, so we collaborated with IT people, and we came up with one IoT device which we patented. So what it would be, very simple concept. We have, like, everybody holds a phone nowadays, right? Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes.
Background noise is there, so.
We can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So, in terms of, we developed this kind of a device, everybody holds a phone, and the phones are nowadays with a high pixel camera and everything. So, we thought it would be best to have, so our device, how it works, that, the person having the phone, and the person is wearing the specs because he's a blind person, so he would be wearing the specs. The specs would be having, integrated a high resolution camera. That camera, when he just, and along with that, he would be having the earplugs. So that we have nowadays, all earplugs are there, which are even wireless and all. So we thought that with the spectacle, the earplug would be there, and the person, when they are wearing it, they would be just, by the click of a mobile, and they have the app along with, they just need to take an image, whatever in front of that. So that camera would be processed in a manner that it would give the even, whatever is written, the person would able to know that by means of this model, deep learning model, what we have developed. Initial cost, I would say, it would be for, just utilizing the deep learning model and training of it, but it would be utilizing the internet, which is always available to everybody nowadays in today's time. And, almost everybody is having 1 or 2 GB data in a day, so they can use that. They can have a smartphone, the person can use that. And even we have collaborated with, IIT Patna for converting whatever, spoken by the internet. We know that language, voice, by means of a voice search, you can search the things. So by means of even that, the whatever answered would be there, that would be given in the language, regional language. So that kind of device we have developed. And I would say, initial cost of this device was somewhere around, it is coming up somewhere around, like, right now it is coming around 10,000 something. Now we are working on it, how we can reduce the cost of it. So I would say even, people who can, investigate, anybody who is investor, he would see that, oh, okay, initial cost is even 4-5, because we are planning to have roughly the cost could come around 4,000-5,000 rupees. So I think 4,000-5,000 rupees merely, if someone can have a vision, the artificial vision, nothing wrong in it, So challenges are there to find out the, like investors or like that, but we are looking for, options. So this kind of thing is there. Another thing, what we have even, came up with the second device, a lot of in India, the counterfeit medicine is a huge kind of a problem. I mean, government of India as well as state government, state drug controller officers, they regularly keep on doing, this kind of survey. They take out the samples from the medical stores, and this medical store samples, we don't know because it looks alike. So what we have done that we have developed a scanning device. The scanning device just the barcode scanner thing.
Barcode scanner, yeah.
We have developed, and that is costing roughly 3,000 to 4,000. So I mean, I agree. At one point, it depends device to device what kind of a cost is involved. But in today's time, there are some of the technology are so easy and handy that it can overcome the overall cost or on the usage of the device also.
Right. Ma'am, so basically what we need is innovation, out of the box thinking, and there are so many opportunities around that if only we can open the minds of the students,
yes, and
they
I
will
could just
come up
add
with a
one
lot.
point over here,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
if we have a good collaboration, like now we are talking over here because advanced technology, computer science, various languages, everything is done by engineering background people.
Yes.
But the actual problem or healthcare related things are from the pharmacy or medical sciences people. So if they
Right.
merge together, I mean, I could do this through devices because of this collaboration. And even
Right.
during my COVID time, I learned even language. Ag language I learned like various languages. So it is really right time that now AI and all those things, little bit at least background, if even known to the pharmacy person, they can bring out really a good products outside. I mean,
Absolutely. It's very important for every student of every discipline to know about these things because it's touching everything. So
yeah,
in fact, from our times, we always say na ki hamare zamane mein ye nahi hota tha and all. So in our times, if you see the hostel at K.R.mangalam University, they have IoT enabled washing machines. And
wonderful.
I was like, what? What is this? So it's literally touching every sphere.
Yes.
So today these students wash their clothes. वही अपने smartphone में there is an app and it tells them your clothes are done. Come and dry them. Put them in the dryer. They dry it. Take them away. So literally everything around us is touching on IoT. A lot of research, a lot of innovation is going on. But like you said, the key is to understand the needs of the industry, collaborate with them, and to think outside the box, to innovate something that might not cost eventually, if you think about it, from the starting. Mohit sir, I would like to bring you in now to understand a little bit about the research initiatives. What's going on in terms of research? What is expected of our students? What kind of research? We always talk about pharmacy is a field that does a lot of research. So we want to understand from you that from a student perspective, what is the kind of research that we're talking about?
Fine. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So first of all, good morning to everyone. And on the behalf of K.R.mangalam University, I welcome to all distinguished members to over here. And firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Arti ma'am who delivered a very informative sessions regarding the future of pharmacy opportunities and challenges. And definitely our students will engage and also open the doors, will be the futuristic approaches. So I am sure that it will be a very enriched with knowledge after completion of this webinar. So now I'm going to share one screens, okay, along with the departmental slides and along with the research and how we are doing in a informative research and doing technological research, okay, regarding the some specialization like the pharmaceutics and the pharmacology. So just I'm sharing. Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible. Yes.
Not anymore. Yeah. Yeah, now we can see it.
Yes, is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So now further, School of Medical and Allied Sciences, and we have running two courses, PPT and the pharmacy. In a pharmacy, there is a diploma in pharmacy, bachelor in pharmacy, and master in pharmacy with a specialization too, that is a pharmaceutics and pharmacology. So first of all, I would like to introduce Dean sir. It is all about the very informative section, that is he did his post-graduation in pharmacology from Delhi University and doctorate from Dr. MGR Medical University. He served AICT New Delhi as an assistant director for 3 years. Professor Garg has been associated with quality pharmacy education as an academician from past 35 years. And he is very engaged with the new innovations and research criteria. So our department and university has been engaged with the international exposure, that is Middlesex University, London, National University of Singapore, Cardiff University, University of Florida, and all. So if I'm talking about the overview of is our SMS is approved by Pharmaceutical Council of India and different MOUs like Vedanta Hospitals, Maddox Hospitals, and conductions different kinds of FDP like faculty development programs, and we organize several health camps, and we have a very prestigious and distinguished qualified faculties, and recently we approved a one DST grant, and obviously done very successful event, that is drug repurposing, and our department has been approved by CPCSE, that is a committee for purpose of control and supervision of experiments on animals. And in 2016, it opted by the best pharmacy college in India, and 20 labs for research in SMS department, like pharmaceutics lab, pharmacology lab, human anatomy lab, and central instrumentation lab, chemistry lab, and all. So SMS philosophy is all about the partnership, social innovation, research, and technology. Mainly our research aims is to foster the spirit of scientific inquiry in students, to push the envelope of human knowledge and wisdom, and how we are doing something like suppose that if I'm doing research on a pharmacology or the pharmaceutics, so how it will help to the students. So our industry academic tie-up is for Dabur, Lupin, Emcure, FDC Limited, Nestle, Sun Pharma, Zydus, Vedanta, and Sanofi. So the pharmacy education pedagogy is all about the presentation, views of lectures, lab resources, and field work, about the project work in a different sectors, in a different conduction by the students of a several streams like D.Pharmacy, B.Pharmacy, BPT, and the M.Pharmacy, as well as the PhD. And also we have generating the self-learning material, like that the different several research has been conducted by our department. So these are the best practices and opportunities, how we are helping the research and development systems based practice and management, practice-based learning and improvement, like all. So our industrial collaboration for project is for Pranab Mukherjee Foundation, Medicament, and Mankind Pharmaceutical. Mankind Pharmaceutical is all about under the category of top 10 MNC companies. So we all have engaged with the industrial collaboration for their project, and the students are instrumental in advancing research and creating a skilled workforce. So students benefit by having an opportunity to work on relevant technology and challenging problems. So our faculty members having published a different article and a different prestigious journals, like lipid-based nanoformulation in the treatment of neurological disorders, and the neurological disorders like that the Alzheimer disease and Parkinson disease, and neuropsychiatric condition like epilepsy, schizophrenia, and all. So basically it is all about the books published by me. This book has been published in the USA, okay, and the title is Herbal Medication for Neurological Disorders. This book offers different herbs on a different neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson, ataxia, Huntington disease, tardive dyskinesia disease, and all. So another publications, the formulation, optimization, and evolution Its impact factor is 6.9 International Journal of Investigations. So like how our students engaged with the research, and some of the students are also doing paper writing and doing research, appropriate research during M.Pharm and bachelor level on a final year. So like the use of nanotechnology in cosmeceuticals, review articles, and as well as research articles to novel in situ nanoemulsions of azithromycin with for the treatment of periodontitis. So this is the project done by B.Pharmacy students. The consumer survey, routine checkup, herbal preparation, acceptance, prescribing readings, and this project under by the bachelor level, like survey on hypertension, new survey on neurodegenerative disorders, and COVID awareness in small places like all. So this is also done by M.Pharmacy students, novel inserting nanoemulsion of azithromycin formulation and evaluation of antimicrobial face wash containing organism and anti-Parkinson activity of across calamus lean using haloperidol catalepsy models. And our students also doing research within appropriate manner, and also the productive research like on a neurodegenerative disorders and in a pharmaceutical disciplines and pharmacology disciplines like all. So these are the our research lab, and the research area interest we are offering, that is neuropharmacology, neuroscience, movement disorders, neuropsychiatric disorders. In the neuropharmacology, we are doing a research on epilepsy, Parkinson's, Alzheimer, how the Parkinson's will be induced by the some instrument or the some drugs like that, aluminum chloride. And if I'm talking about the instrument, that is stereotaxic. And neuroscience and movement disorders like Parkinson disease, and how the Parkinson disease will be induced and how will be treated by the Parkinson disease and all. So we are doing also preclinical evaluation of drugs and preclinicals to learn about the animal handling and how to do animal handling and how to give the route of administration with the different routes like IM, IV, intraperitoneal, subcutaneous and all. And we are also engaging the research areas in a computer-aided drug design, CAD. So is it fine to all of you?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mohit sir. Arti ma'am, again coming back to you, we've seen a lot of talk about how we're doing research ultimately to benefit the patient, of course. But when our students are doing either industrial training, clinical training, or they're engaged in some research, how important do you think it is to have that industry and academia connect?
See, the things are, we do have a mix of thing at current time. If I give an answer for, current situation, we don't see, that strong, impact of industry towards academia collaboration. What we have seen in, at least I have seen in US, I mean, we always see that, but I experienced myself because my stay for second year was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson, and I was doing a live project there. The data, whatever generated, what I did was utilized by them for their work. So we don't see that much in Indian industry. I mean, we see, but hardly 5-10% in across even India. So if we say roughly, it is really kind of where we lack is our syllabus is concerned, and the infrastructure at many of the colleges, where the infrastructure is not enough. So, when the infrastructure and things are very challenging, it's very difficult. Why would industry would support this kind of a collaboration? So, it is very much important. First of all, I would say that, the role of Pharmacy Council of India plays a huge role over here. And, in recent time, as an academician, I can say about that, last 2-3 months, Pharmacy Council of India is doing a tremendous transformation in their policies and, the inspection team, what they are visiting, the kind of things told to them that, do not accept the what traditional things are happening, and they are emphasizing more on syllabus. So I happen to heard, Dr. Montu Kumar Patel, who is, the Pharmacy Council of India president, and who has been elected recently, and he was, very loud enough to talk about the changes in the syllabus. So if that approach they can bring in, of course the industry collaboration would be open-minded. But still, I would suggest, what students should do at present, until that thing is not there or not realistic, whatever kind of a training, whatever kind of, training is available, go for it. Because, if you sit in the home and, during your vacation time, or you're doing nothing, it won't make sense. Sometimes, sitting on a medical store also makes you understand that, how that overall supply chain things are happening. So it is very important to pick on a student that, even if you get a chance to work in a medical store, do not leave that chance also, and try to learn more.
Absolutely. There's a learning in every little thing that they do, and it's obviously going to be better. Professor Garg, sir, I would like to bring you in here as well, since you are part of the inspection teams that go for PCI inspections and all. I would like to add here that are we seeing a change right from the syllabus level to infrastructural level in order to ensure that the future of pharmacy is protected right at the level of the universities?
Yes, actually, the syllabus is good, but with new technology, we need to add some more subjects and some more topics in that. And what I feel is that we always talk about the open electives and all those things, open system, credit system, and all. So we need to have more faculty in our schools or universities, so that we can offer different type of courses to our students.
To have a more multidisciplinary approach? Right.
Multidisciplinary approach.
Right.
And
Like Arti ma'am was
even
saying that they're only able to do a lot of the research and innovation because of multidisciplinary engagement. Right.
otherwise, the course is open to all students. They have opportunities of learning from a chemist shop, from a wholesaler, from industry, from any other diagnostic or herbal.
Right. So there are a number of opportunities for a pharmacy student or pharmacy graduate, and we saw in the visual shared by Aarti ma'am that there were so many career opportunities that a pharmacist could take in the future. Of course, they are free to learn and explore even during their, as a part of their curriculum as well. And now it is up to us to imbibe that futuristic technological know-how, or just an orientation towards what the future has in store for them. Aarti ma'am, there is also a question that we have received in the Q&A box from one of the attendees. After pharmacy practice 2015 PPR, how do you see pharmacy education in higher education, in collegiate, national, hospital, pharmacy interns, Mobizens, participation in digital health global mission? So how are we trained or gearing up for that?
See, when pharmacy practice 2015 brought in, it was very preliminary or initial stage what they have brought in. And, I would say more or less pharmacy practice related concept, it has not come upfront in, rolled out that way. So that's why still the pharmacists struggle with this clinical pharmacist concept, what US, UK has. But never, having said that, even along with that, government is bringing in many, this hospital pharmacist or clinical pharmacist, or even the matter of fact, Jan Aushadhi Kendras are concerned. Those are also coming up where the opportunity for the pharmacist can be opened up. We have a long way to go, but I would say at least government has taken the initiatives, and the Pharmacy Council of India is also going in a stronger way, that how we can have the best of the system, and how we can come up with. And one of the, I think, interview what I heard from PCI people, that they're talking that we would be having even a system where a student, because syllabus is quite wider, but if the student is interested to have some advanced thing along with, those kind of things are going to be included or imparted in that. So with digital, thing in mission, I think government is also taking it forward. So yeah, pretty much we are on path, but it's a long way to go.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to share now some information and a few glimpses of what K.R.mangalam University has to offer to the students.
May I ask
Yes, sir.
one question
Sure,
before
sure.
we go
Yes,
to the
sir.
university? Ma'am, very interesting researches you quoted and the innovations which are, were conducted by you itself. My only question which worries me very often is with the coming of technology, right? The human element, right? And you may have anything, all right, particularly in the world of medicine. But what matters most is the human touch, right? Okay. And it is the human touch, it is the assuaging of the feelings, right? That cures, that helps the patients a lot, right? So in this coming of technology, I would say bombardment by technology, how are you ensuring a balance between the two, particularly for the upcoming pharmacy personnel?
So, I mean, very interesting question. I totally agree with you, sir, that, human touch is very important. Until unless I do not talk to doctor, I don't get satisfied with just, even the chatbot has given me some answer. I might not be that satisfied until unless I given the confirmation. So, this is a very, true, but this technologically, if we see, and the pharmacist role will evolve over the time with newer technology. uh, the pharmacist who's on the other side looking into the patient is also sending the details by looking the mindset of, because he's having that smart related all information about the patient, and he himself is sending the messages, along with the chatbots. That's one point, but they are sending themselves also the messages. And if you even saw that example, so what, hypothetically it is even said that the healthcare professional would know the things in a very early time. So it would be definitely human touch would be there, but it would be facilitated with this algorithm technologies or AI based technologies, that it would fasten the process and it would help even the person, as I gave the example that, she had the tooth problem. She realized when the almost all the things, it was infectious like anything, that her other tooth can be affected. But with this smart kind of a concept, it can be even solved in an initial stage. So human touch won't go just like that because it would be definitely required. And what I understood from this technology, I found, yes, pharmacists themselves have to, upgrade themselves. As I'm saying, even I upgrade myself for this kind of a collaboration to bring out such kind of a devices. If it was just a thought in a head, but if I don't have a collaborator who is having the background from AI or like that, I'll be helpless. So it is very important for students also, along with their learning, what they are doing in the regular curriculum. They need to have exposure of various disruption technology, what can be possible. So it won't be new to them when it comes up immediately. I mean, and it would be definitely easy to understand, because a few years back, nobody was knowing how to use even WhatsApp. But nowadays, look upon WhatsApp, it's itself a new university, giving so much of unnecessary messages, acknowledgements, and
True.
everything.
So we
So,
must always find that balance.
yeah, so
Yeah.
this is very important that student has to keep upgraded themselves with this kind of either collaborations, or maybe there are so much of the material even available on YouTube. And frankly speaking, I'm also a baby in this, because I'm also learning with the technology is growing. And I myself saw like a couple of videos, and then I was like, oh yes, because scope of pharmacy I'm aware about current time. But when we see futuristic approach, And long back in 2013, I heard one keynote address by one of the, I think somebody was from IBM, and he was talking about at that time knew that smartwatch came. That was the initial smartwatch I think came, and Apple didn't even launch the smartwatch. And he was talking about that this smartwatch will tell the doctor, and it was a keynote address. And I was like, what he's talking? How will you have that? And now look upon. Everyone knows what is the heart rate, what is the SpO2 level, and everything is available within your phone. So I mean, of course, human touch, but yeah, this all technology and student needs to upgrade and keep an eye on whatever is happening. So that I would say.
So you say it is enhancing the human touch, right?
Yes.
To the use of technology.
Yes.
And the second point, which you very much emphasized, was the collaborative exercises which needs to be done more often now. So when you talk about collaboration and multidisciplinary approach, so some is left to the student, right? That student is very himself or herself very innovative, inquisitive, wants to do something. But something needs to be provided in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of curriculum, in terms of the opportunities. So what do you think, for keeping future in mind, what kind of changes the universities need to see?
So, very right question, because, students themselves might not be motivated that way. Hardly 1 or 2% student would be motivated to do themselves. But I'm observing in Indian context also many universities coming up with this concept that, technology 4.0, or you can say that, they are coming up with having some disruptive technology related courses, maybe 1 credit course, 1 credit course where they are having hardly maybe once a week or twice a week, the lectures are there. And, that the syllabus is made in a manner that, relevant to that particular field. How much AI have involved, or like what newer technologies are part of, or what is even IoT devices, because AI is everywhere now. Whenever we see something, people would put AI based, but what exactly it is, it's also a question that, how it is coming up. So if I say that, smart city would, when this new government came in 2014, they were talking smart cities will be developed. And I was saying, we are having so much of this struggle in getting normal parking, if you talk about even parking also because of the population and all, but still the smart. So I was just reading that, what they are meaning, what they are saying in terms of smartness in terms. So smartness is nothing in terms of, the phone you are using. If you have some app, you have some, they are just doing that. So I would say computer scientists and AI based or ML based, whatever things are happening, traditional things keep on going. But it is very much important for universities to have at least a 1 credit course even to make students understand that this technologies are available. It's their choice. Even if they would go into future and they are not dealing with, at all in all this concept, but it won't be, they won't be feeling that, they don't know about it. So I would even always, when I see this various universities coming up, something like that, it's very good and very, footstep ahead of. So that's my take on that.
Thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful take up. And it's a very good idea of some credits be there, and where we really bring into their knowledge.
Sir, I would like to share, Arti ma'am, that currently, because of the national education policy coming in, and like you were saying, Industrial Revolution 4.0, currently our university is engaged in a curriculum overhaul to make it in line with sustainable development goals. Every department that can change the curriculum is including the concepts of SDG and NEP pan university. Now, some programs like for pharma and physiotherapy, we are mandated by the councils. Now, what we decided was that yes, our curriculum is set by the council. They will tell us what to teach, but not how to teach it. So what we've done is that we have incorporated that into pedagogy. That whatever, because being a multidisciplinary university, when we have experts of AI and ML sitting there, so we have value-added courses. Because in order to have a course which, like you're saying, a one credit course, it will have to come from the council because we can't touch our structure. So we have introduced zero credit value-added courses that the students are able to take. And these, a lot of them, like earlier we were trying to do them through MOOCs, but what we realized was that especially for different concepts that are not a part of their normal curriculum, it's very difficult to teach a student through MOOC. So when we have the experts here, all the other departments are now offering value-added courses which are zero credit courses. And of course, those departments, PAN University, who are able to implement the NEP and SDG goals, and looking at the different parallels of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, we are incorporating that into the syllabi. But yes, of course, wherever we can't, then we try to incorporate it into pedagogy. We learn about new technologies through webinars like these, and we get to know what is happening around the world. I would say that being forced to move online for almost 2 years, we did benefit in that we erased geographical boundaries. We were able to come together. Today you are sitting somewhere, we are sitting somewhere. Tomorrow we'll have a webinar with somebody who's sitting in Germany. And we've erased those geographical boundaries. They're also comfortable now. So we're really utilizing those. So, ma'am, I'd like to tell you also and the participants about some of the, what K.R.mangalam University is all about, some of the programs they're offering, and how we try to be progressive and inculcate everything that would make a better future for our students. So we have 11 different schools with their departments. This, I think, is a huge advantage in having a multidisciplinary approach. The students of the School of Medical and Allied Sciences will do combined projects with those of, say, agriculture. They can work with those of journalism and mass communication, and everybody learns. They will imbibe something from their batchmates. They will, teach them something about healthcare, like SMAS runs the Health Society. So we incorporate everything into the multidisciplinary approach. And of course, we have a beautiful infrastructure. We're all centrally air conditioned. I was telling you the hostels, I keep telling the students what happens in my time. कि हमारी बाल्टियों की line लगती थी, and you have attached bathrooms and all. So if we take a look at the programs that are being offered by K.R.mangalam University, I would like the students to just go on the website. Now everything is available on the website. You'll be able to see a number of programs are being run in academic support with industry. So if you see here, you have a BTech CSC with AI and ML, artificial learning, artificial intelligence and machine learning, with academic support of Symmetrics and IBM. So we are running programs with IBM, with ZBR, with Siemens. Now what that means is that these industry experts, tomorrow we're looking for our placements there. Tomorrow we're looking for training there. And in the past, these industry giants would say that fresh graduates don't have the required skills. We'll have to retrain them. So now we're trying to bridge that gap, that we inculcate that training of skills while they are still doing their degree. Why do they have to do something extra after their degree? So, for example, if Symmetrics or IBM, they are taking over a number of courses within the program. So I think this is the way forward, where the experts from the industry are directly coming here and teaching those courses. Then they are responsible for the curriculum design. It is done in collaboration with the industry, and our students get to learn on the, say, for example, we have the academic support of Siemens. That means that our students are learning hands-on the proprietary software of Siemens that is used around the globe. So by the time they graduate, they already have enough knowledge about what is going around in the world. Similarly, the students of SMAs, whether they're doing pharmacy or physiotherapy, They have clinical training, internships, and research as a part of their curriculum. But apart from that, like Arti ma'am was saying, in the summers, please go and sit in a chemist job, do anything. So we do encourage and we send our students to different, we try and figure out what is the gap in the curriculum. What is it that is not getting covered in the curriculum? Let's utilize that for training. So that approach also helps when they do, multidisciplinary projects, whether they're working with the engineering department. Ma'am was mentioning 3D printers. So I was very excited when I heard that we have a 3D printer in the university. And we're constantly trying to come up with ways in which to use these technological sources that we have, which might not directly come into our curriculum, but yes, the students of tomorrow will have to imbibe everything. So the industry collaborations are very strong and they're very important in order to ensure that tomorrow the students are already industry ready by the time they go out. We also have a collaboration with IIT Bombay. They have set up an e-yantra robotics lab. Again, this is a very fascinating concept where students are getting mentored by the professors from IIT Bombay. They work on projects together. Sometimes they're doing something in robotics. They keep running drones. Our drones are flying across the region and trying to map the water supply around the university. So they're doing things which are socially relevant, because at one end of the spectrum, we are talking about hi-fi technology, AI, robots, but ultimately they will all be used to make life better. So we have to balance these out. We are very fortunate to have distinguished professors, mentors from across the globe who help not only the students but the faculty members themselves. And that is why we are able to strike that balance. Like, for example, if I talk about the smart ashram, or even the agriculture department using sustainable technology, when we teach our students, we take them to the villages around us, we hold health camps, we have awareness drives. What we are trying to inculcate is that no matter what technology is there, like Arora sir was saying, ultimately we mustn't forget the human element. In running after technology, we cannot forget that all of this is meant to help us and to make our lives better. So whether it is a social outreach program or whether it is an extension activity which is a part of your daily planning or your curriculum, we must imbibe both the elements, the technology as well as sustainability. So that is why we connect with the industry, we connect with the community around us. We have adopted a number of villages and we take care of them, whether it is the legal cell, the legal department will, go and try and solve their legal issues. The students will also get an insight into real problems. And similarly, when we go with health camps, our students get to see a number of health problems that, there are not textbook cases. They can't understand why this person wouldn't have got treatment for a congenital problem. So their understanding of the world grows with these programs. The mentor-mentee program at K.R.mangalam University is one of its highlights, that each student is assigned a mentor when they enter into the university, and now it is the mentor who will guide them through. Like I was talking about these, extra courses, short-term trainings, value-added courses. The mentor helps the mentee to try and figure out which skill would help you. What is it? So we personalize that education so that it's not a, we are not a mass production factory, but we are individualizing it. So for all the students who might be interested in doing their studies abroad, you must explore the international collaborations that we have. K.R.mangalam University has collaborated with a number of universities abroad, and they have different kinds of programs. So for example, you could do your bachelor's here and master's there, or you could do part of a degree program, or you have like summer internship opportunities. So there are different options for those who wish to do their studies abroad, but of course finance is a hassle sometimes. So one of the options is to explore how we can work with international collaborations. Now, if we talk about what we want our students to learn, I am very gratified to see that when the students write about the university, They're not talking about how the teacher completed the syllabus. They're talking about what skills they learned. They're talking about how their personality developed. And that I feel is the real wealth that we are accumulating as teachers, as mentors, that when the students realize that their personality development happened, or they're looking futuristically, or they're opening their minds to different opportunities, then they will come up with innovations. Then they will come up with new technologies or the use of an old technology as well. We have a great placement record for these reasons itself, that our students are pre-trained, they are already in touch with the industry and their needs. We also do a lot of networking. We are on the LinkedIn Learning platform as well. Our students have access to that, and they do connect with the leaders of their industry. I was very surprised, and again, one of those moments where I was like, oh, they were able to do like online placements, online interviews. We just seamlessly moved online when we were locked down. But of course, we do have a separate career development center and placement cell who take care that each student reaches their maximum potential. The admission process, of course, is very simple, very transparent. Gone are the days when people used to say that private universities have hidden charges, hidden fees. Now everything is very transparent. The fees can be found online. You will be able to see the entire process. You can come here, you can do everything online itself. For those students who are appearing for CUET 22, I would like to tell you that if you are doing CUET, then you will get exempted from the university KRMU admission test, and you can directly go for the panel interview stage. But it is a very simplified and transparent process. The fee structure, as I said, is online. It is on our websites, different for different courses, but very, very, I would say, affordable or realistic in today's times, because it is not like those when we hear about अरे वो पता नहीं कितने वो suitcase में पैसे ला रहे हैं and all. I was seeing some stand-up comedian saying that, but we do offer a number of scholarships. This can be up to 100% of your fees. You must explore the number of scholarships that are being offered, the finance options that are being offered by the university, and try and reach out to the admission team for anything. We are just a phone call away. 011-488-488 is our number. However, if you do want to reach out to any expert, so for example, a student of, say, somebody wants to do engineering, and you don't know which one, what is all these new things, please contact us. We'll connect you directly to faculty members, and you'll be able to ask them direct questions. For example, if you have any confusions or anything, just write into us. schoolconnect@k.r.mangalam.edu.in. Just drop in an email or just call us. We are right there, and we will try and solve all your queries. So thank you so much. We've had a very, very enlightening session. Some important takeaways that pharmacy offers a great career option, not just for today, but for the future as well. Yes, we will have to overcome some challenges, but as long as we are aware of that, we will ride through that. Technology, of course, carries its own risks, and we must strike a balance so as not to lose the human touch. Thank you so much, Dr. Arti, for joining us. We have had such a great session and learned so much. I'm sure the students also enjoyed a lot.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohit sir, Professor Garg.
Thank you,
and
everyone.
everyone.
And we all are very enlightened from this session. And thank you again, Arti ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
for
Arora
having
sir.
me, inviting me. Thank you, Arora sir. It was nice interacting with you. I hope, this virtuality is fine, but I can come in person someday and have interaction
Absolutely,
with all
ma'am.
of
We
you.
would love to. Yes, we would love to have you.
Sir,
So
over.
human touch,
unmute yourself. Sir, unmute yourself.
Arora sir, आप mute है.
That's it. What I see these webinars, this step, and the use of technology is bringing the knowledge which may or may not be in the reach of an ordinary student. And it is not confined to the boundaries of, suppose I am a student of a university, right? Even if I'm not a student of a university, still universities are going out to help the students. And that is what exactly is a real benefit of the technology as I see it. So it was really wonderful to be together, right from the beginning, okay, and understanding each other, and understanding the flow. I'm sure these kind of interactions would definitely help the students not only to understand what area they are entering, but definitely this also why they want to enter more.
Very true.
So it was
Right,
so
sir,
wonderful
very
today. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.